um, he was very nice to me. You know, he had that room built in Rampark Ridge for me to stay in, and I stayed in there, gosh, I don't know how many times, but many times, and took part in the programs, RT and so on in the house. It was really nice, and he was always very attached, you could say, but not just attached, but he relished, he enjoyed those Krishna conscious activities of RT, Guru Puja, and so on. Excuse me. And also, one very striking thing, extremely dramatic thing actually, which Balakishori and Yogeshwari and those who are aware at least would know of, was when the criminals came to the house in Rampark Ridge. And a very dramatic and horrible scene. These armed criminals, gangsters, and sort of doing a hold up in the house. But Namacarya, very friendly and warm, but when the circumstances were like that, from what he told me, he just started shouting and shouting, Nrsingadev, Nrsingadev. Is that right? Even I think at gunpoint or something. Yeah. And when you do that sort of thing with that sort of crazy, nasty person, who knows what may happen. But he just took shelter of Lord Nrsingadev and called out for Lord Nrsingadev. And afterwards, I only found out, I don't know, a couple of days after perhaps, and he told me, and you could say he was sort of transcendentally proud that he stood up to those horrible people. Sure. So he was really, he was an all-round devotee. He was very warm, but different situations he could deal with and face in different ways. He was, this was his temple here, really. He was here for the Sunday programs. Of course, we saw pictures of him at Santon and Midrand. But I think he was here every Sunday and very dedicated to Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Hari. Because the association of devotees, Srila Prabhupada would say, Krishna consciousness is 90% association. And if we consider, Lord Chaitanya lists out the 64 devotional activities in the 22nd chapter of Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita. And, the way it goes is Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Mathura Vas Srimurtiya Shradaya Sevan. That we must associate with devotees, chant the holy names, study Srimad Bhagavatam, and live in a sacred place like Mathura, and worship the deity with great faith and reverence. But actually, I've thought about these activities a lot. And the thing is, one very important thing is, they're all enhanced by the association of devotees. The second one is Namakarya, chanting the holy names. But to have kirtan on your own, actual kirtan, it's not so nice at all as having kirtan in the association of devotees. And hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, similarly, it's all enhanced in that way. Even worshipping the deities, we look at Sri Srimati Gaura Hari, and if it wasn't for the loving worship of the devotees, they wouldn't look so nice and attractive. And staying in a holy place, his home was, it seemed to me, always a holy place. It was always a place full of Krishna consciousness. It wasn't just a place of just relaxing in the material sense. So, Namacarya Prabhu was a person who, to me, of course I've got quite a number of initiated disciples, and generally all of them, particularly so many of them, are really very nice. Namacarya Prabhu was, in his way, quite unique. I felt he really was quite unique in the warmth of his heart, how he enjoyed Krishna consciousness, how he identified with Krishna consciousness, that this was him. He was a devotee, and that was what his life was about. Not getting ahead in terms of career and so on, so those types of things. And we see Mother Kishore is such a nice devotee, and the children, Yogeshwari's here, Shyam Kishore's not here, right? No. But I think we all know them, and I know them very well. And you see in devotee families that in many cases the children come out nicely, but in quite a number of cases the children don't come out so nicely. And in some cases they get quite deviated. But you know what they say? You can judge a tree by its fruit. So Yogeshwari, what a nice devotee. Very nice. And little Tarini, right? Tarini, Haribol. I haven't seen her for a while, but she's a nice devotee. And Shyam Kishore Prabhu, sure, he's really a nice devotee. Very sincere and dedicated, and you can judge a tree by the fruit. So, it's really sad. He was younger than me. I think now he'd be, is it 67, would it be, or 68? 68? Yeah, 68. Which, by today's terms is not really that old. But somehow or other Krishna chose, Krishna decided. You saw those photos from Mayapur last year. And there he was offering Guru Puja to Srila Prabhupada and doing things like that, taking part in the GBC meetings. But then somehow or other, who knows how, but just shortly after that, he became very ill, extremely ill, and then of course he left us on this day, which, as I understand, as I recall, is also the birthday of Shyam Kishore. So what can you say? Life goes on like that in a sense. The young and the old, and the young become old, and then there's new young ones. So, but he could have lived on. I'm sort of somehow or other stumbling along by Krishna's grace. And others, some devotees are 80 and more. And they're carrying on. And sometimes we think, even when Prabhupada left, we thought, oh, if Prabhupada could have stayed on a few more years. So, oh, if Namacarya Prabhu could have stayed on for a few more years. But what can you do? Krishna's God, and we're all in Krishna's hands. And there's just no doubt at all in my heart that His Grace Namacarya Prabhu is in Krishna's hands right now, and likely went back to Godhead. I mean, you could say if anyone should go back to Godhead or seemed qualified like that, it was him. But whatever Krishna felt he wanted to do with him, that's fine. We have to live with it and accept it and be happy with it. But we should try and remember him as we all had his association, particularly those of us who did really have his association. Shishimita Gora Hare Kija, Shishimita Satyasuta Kija. We should try and remember him, particularly those of us who did really have his association. Try and remember him and appreciate him. And, sometimes we say when devotees leave this world, sometimes we say, yes, we must pray to Krishna to help that devotee. But sometimes the question or the point arises, maybe we should pray to that devotee, considering that the devotee, special devotees are in Krishna's hands and may very well be in some extremely exalted place. But one way or the other, we will meet him again. Prabhupada said we'll have another ISKCON in Goloka Vrindavan. So, I'm sure it's already there. It's started going. And, if we appreciate, if we're grateful for the association that we had with Namacarya Prabhu, and if we really appreciate him, and we really do our best to continue on nicely in Krishna consciousness, then we'll be reunited with him, and then we'll all be together forever. We'll all be together forever at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna and Shishimita Gora Hare, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. His Grace Namacarya Prabhu Ki. His Grace Namacarya Prabhu Ki. His Grace Namacarya Prabhu Ki. Gaur Premanande. So, well, like I said, at least we'll invite Govardhan Prabhu, Sri Hari Prabhu, to say some words after the arati, and others who might like to, as far as I'm concerned at least. That would be nice. But I think for the time being, let us